While I've got them both out on the workbench, I thought it'd be interesting to compare the tuners a bit. So here is the VHF only tuner, and here's one with the UHF option. So this portion is identical on both, and this one has this extra thing mounted on top. That's what these holes are for here. So they designed the VHF with the UHF in mind. But I suspect not very many sets were made with it. You sure don't see many. So what's in this copper box? Well, we've got one tube, a 6AF4, which is pretty much what you find in every UHF tuner from the 50s. It is one of the few tubes made back then that could operate at UHF frequency, so there's your oscillator mixer there. Although sometimes it's just the oscillator, I think, and maybe an amp, and they actually would have a diode inside for the mixer. So what this would do is this would take the UHF and convert it down to where the VHF tuner can handle it. So it's actually a two-step conversion. So I see the output of this actually going into the VHF. So it'd be one position on the VHF tuner called UHF, which would utilize this signal. So this actually has a variable oscillator, local oscillator in it, which just controls the frequency of, and converts it to an IF, which then goes into the VHF tuner, which then gets converted again down to the 44 megahertz IF, and this takes over for the final detection down to just base video frequencies. Here's the schematic for the VHF and UHF tuner, UHF portion being in the dashed lines down here. It's a 6AF4, and they parallel up the two triodes and use it just for the oscillator, and then they do use a crystal diode for the mixer, I believe that is there, and then there's the IF out, and they use one of the channel positions on the clunker for UHF. See that here, I have the knob installed. There is UHF, and when UHF is engaged, you then use this knob, the vernier action, to tune it. So no clicks, it's just continuous tuning across the entire UHF band. So this would be the IF out of the UHF going into the VHF tuner, and the output of the VHF tuner is this coax going to the IF strip on the chassis. So let's see if I can get this UHF working. First, fire it up, make sure everything's still working properly on the VHF reception. I think we might still have one or two UHF over-the-air low-power broadcasts in my area. I'm not entirely sure about that. If not, I'll have to rig up a signal source of my own. Alright, yes, indeed, we still have VHF reception. Alright, so let's switch over to the UHF. And I'm just going to rig up a piece of alligator lead here. Just make a little loop UHF antenna on the UHF antenna lugs here. Here, and let's see if we can get anything. Well, some of the stuff I will get, like occasionally you get hiss or hear something, that's actually the digital broadcast, I believe, because pretty much all the digital broadcasts are now in the UHF band. But this being an analog set, of course, you can't decode or receive them. So they're like, I think that is a modern ATSC broadcast. And do another one. Let's see, trying to get something. Now it really doesn't matter in this day and age. The UHF tuner is here, but there were far less sets made with the UHF tuner. So it's an interesting thing to have to some collectors. Kind of something there. No, my test pattern generator definitely goes into UHF band, so let's fire that up right now. And if you take the output of that and just put it near the antenna, should be able to pick something up. Put the output power on high. Just kind of put in my generator right inside the loop there. And let's see, I don't know, let's go for channel 50. And power. Running your drive's kind of stiff, probably use a little relube. I'm going to go all the way at one end. I'll go to channel like 15. I think it'll make it a little easier to tell. Sorry, I know not the most exciting video, but please bear with me. Okay, I think I got this thing working. I've got my generator on channel 34. And just fine tuning here. There it is. I ended up just connecting the output of my generator directly to the UHF antenna input. And even so, not the cleanest signal. But hey, it is receiving a UHF signal, so that's cool. Have not been able to find an over-the-air channel, though. Here's a look at that 6AF4 tube that was in there. It appears to be the original p5o, so I figured with that I'll try popping in a new old stock replacement. Tuned around the dial, and found this. Which, I'm not exactly sure what I'm looking at. Kinda some sound. Not exactly, that's not my test pattern generator, that is turned off. It's bizarre, because it sure looks like a test pattern generator. It is most definitely turned off. Here's reception of my test pattern generator again with this new tube, and clearly reception is much better. So I think that original 6A4 was definitely on its last legs. And back to good old VHF reception. Here's a look at the cabinet after a bit of cleaning. I used some Auto products, some Scratch X, and Meguiar's cleaner wax. Since, well, this is painted metal just like a car, so why not? So we've got all the white specks off of it, and other than a few little chips right here, it's in really nice condition. I also drilled out the remains of the rivets down below and installed some nice rubber feet so it's no longer just sitting on the ground. So a little bit of work left to do on the chassis. Then I pop it back in here and reinstall the tuner, hook everything back up, and hopefully it will be done.